What's up guys, I'm Shubham and in this video I'm going to review the iPhone 13. So, I'm an Android user for about 5 to 6 years straight and this is my first iPhone. It's been about 2 weeks since I have been using this and it's been a love and hate relation. Let me tell you the whole story. With this iPhone 13, Apple leaves us with no complaints on the quality part. Right out of the box, you are going to feel the iPhone 13 is very slick at 7.7mm and lightweight at 174 grams. So, if you are going to compare it with the previous generation, iPhone 12, looks like the iPhone 13 has only changed the position of one of its back camera, but trust me, there are more substantial upgrades than that. With the new display, larger battery, better camera, hardware, software, the iPhone 13 is the new benchmark for flagship smartphones. Once again, Apple made the iPhone 13 far more powerful than its Android competitors. Thanks to the 5G ready A15 Bionic chip, if the raw performance doesn't interest you, we photographers can play with the new photographic style, filters in the camera, while videographers will be excited by the new cinematic mode, focus tracking ability, and so on. Let's talk about the design and colors. There are really two design changes to note for the iPhone 13. First, the camera on the back are now arranged diagonally instead of vertically. Secondly, the notch is now 20% smaller, while still delivering the same great true depth camera system and Face ID. Still, it's a notch. The iPhone 13 offers a ceramic shield display up front, durable glass back and flat edges. And I have to say, the industrial boxy shape feels really great on the hand and it looks amazing. Also, you are getting the IP68 water resistant, which ensures that the iPhone 13 is protected from dust and water. It can handle submersion in water up to 1.5 meters for up to an hour. That's great, and I'm not going to test it. Thank you. Unfortunately, the iPhone 13 doesn't offer Touch ID. An upgrade I would have appreciated very much, as I'm coming from Android and I'm very used to the fingerprint sensor. Now let's talk about the beautiful display. The flat front is a 6.1-inch Full HD Super Retina XDR OLED display offering 460 ppi. That's mouthful. It's a very fine OLED panel capable of producing brilliant colors and excellent clarity. Text and icons appear super crisp both indoors and outdoors as the OLED touches approximate 800 nits of typical maximum brightness and goes up to 1200 nits of peak brightness while streaming HDR content. This means using this outdoor is a joy. The iPhone 13 doesn't get the boost of the adaptive 120Hz refresh rate of the iPhone 13 Pro, but it's still a stellar OLED panel. And I'm very used to 120Hz screen from my previous Android phone, but believe me, it's a 60Hz display, but the smoothness of Apple UI and animations make the whole experience buttery smooth. Now here's the real deal. Let's talk about the cameras. There's much more to the iPhone 13 cameras than just a new diagonal arrangement of the lenses. The iPhone 13 features a 12 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide. Disappointingly, Apple carried over the same 12 megapixel selfie camera from the iPhone 12 lineup. Though iOS 15 software and the A15 Bionic processor together do give the iPhone 13 selfie camera new features. All of this is collected in Apple's camera app, which is very simple and easy to use. But there is no manual mode. I just can't live without that. As a photographer and with this great camera system, I shoot a lot more photos with this. And not having a manual mode still disappoints me every time. The pictures I have captured with the main camera looks really good. Plenty of colors and details was present in most shots and the focus was sharp. Also, the noise is very well controlled. Shots taken with the ultra-wide camera are on par with the main lens, just with a much wider field of view and very little optical distortion. I am extremely pleased with the image sharpness and noise levels. The color balance between the main and wide-angle camera is near spot on, so you can switch between those lenses very seamlessly. Selfie fanatics will mostly be pleased with the quality of shots from the iPhone 13 selfie camera. When there's a solid lighting, most shots turn out crisp and well exposed, with plenty of detail and very little noise. The portrait mode works like a charm. The edge detection was spot on. If you are not a fan of iPhone's usual color temperature, or you just wanted more control over your photos, you will appreciate the photographic style feature. In the camera app, you can switch between multiple styles, including standard, vibrant, rich contrast, warm, and cool. Now the best thing, videos. Now, as we all know, iPhone's video quality is unmatched. And in this series of iPhone 13, they have introduced something new, more advanced, called cinematic mode, which adds more drama to the video. It adds more depth if you want, also changes the focus to various subjects depending on what's happening in this frame. Now, to be very honest, I really love the video quality. And I'm shooting a lot more video on my phone, more than ever I would say. But I'm not using the cinematic mode and I kinda don't like it as it looks artificial and gimmicky. It just doesn't suit my personal taste. Overall, it's a cool feature. The overall video quality from the iPhone 13 is stellar, with improved noise reduction, better dynamic range, and enhanced semantic rendering that can identify skin, face, and sky, and more. With the iPhone 13, yet again, Apple set the new standards for smartphone video. Performance and A15 Bionic chip. Apple's iPhone 13 is powered by A15 Bionic. It is the fastest, most powerful, and efficient Apple silicon for a mobile device to date. It comes with the new 6-core CPU and 2 performance and 4 efficiency cores, and a new 16-core neural engine. However, it should be noted that A15 Bionic silicon in the iPhone 13 and 13 mini features 4-core GPU compared to 5-core GPU in the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. Nevertheless, I didn't see any notable difference in my day-to-day use. I don't play games on my phone, but where these specs shine in my usage is while using the portrait mode or multitasking or doing something with the augmented reality. Sometimes while closing the apps, I even get tired, but still, every app is still running and everything is where I have left. Remember, this phone has only 4 GB of RAM. My previous one used to have 6 GB RAM and I have never seen this level of performance out of that. Battery life and charging. Okay, so let's talk about the battery and charging on the iPhone 13. Before starting this, 1 second of silence for charger brick. Okay, now that's done, let's go ahead. So, the battery capacity is smaller than my previous Android phone, which was Poco X2. But it still gives me more battery life than that. You know why? Optimization. Yes, because of Apple's optimization, this smaller capacity battery can give me 1.5 days of battery life without any problem while using this powerful A15 Bionic chip and this stellar Super Retina XDR display. iOS 15. Now here I have some love and hate relation with the iPhone. iOS is very smooth, optimized, with beautiful animation. It looks good. It's very user friendly and easy to use. Obviously, so many things are different from Android and one will need some time to get used to it. That's okay. There's no problem. And for Android users, let me tell you another thing. The Face ID isn't the face unlock. What do you have in Android phones? It's just a whole different thing. It doesn't use the camera to take a picture and recognize you to unlock. The tech for the Face ID is so advanced. Every time you use Face ID, it scans your face on a 3D plane and compares with the existing 3D model you have registered. It's much more detailed, and that's why it works in complete darkness, and that's just fascinating. Now, these things are very hard to show on a video, so take my word for it, but it's not all love and beautiful out there. I have some problem with this as well. You can't share files over Bluetooth. I don't use that, but why it's impossible? Then in photos you don't have camera roll folder. That's so annoying. Then if you turn off the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi like this, it's not disabled. It's just disconnected. So if you want to disable, you have to go to the setting and then you have to disable it manually. It's so annoying. Again, by the way, iOS 16 is coming up within a week, and let's hope for the best. Now let's talk about my iPhone 13 experience. What I liked and disliked about the iPhone 13. First up, I like the small form factor of the iPhone 13. Like, it's 6.1-inch display, but for the aspect ratio, it still feels small. And with the all-around metal and glass back, it's good to hold in hand. And I just love this industrial boxy design. But the glass back is a fingerprint magnet. Though it's all been covered with the case I'm using from EgoTube. But what can't be covered with a case is the display. And I'm just gonna say it loud. I think this is the best display out there. Just lacks the 120Hz refresh rate, though you are not going to miss it much. And the iPhone 13 features the crazy MagSafe, though I have not used it, so no comments yet. Now, if I have to summarize the whole review in one line, I would say iPhone 13 is the new benchmark for flagship phones. Yes, it has some cons, but that's just how it is. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it, and if this is your first time on my channel, subscribe for more videos like that, and see you guys in the next one. Till then, tada.